Okay, I think we're done with shoot for today, but okay, there's a bunch of emails, social media notifications showing up here on CarPlay, and a lot of your questions. Now, it's important to answer some of these questions because we clearly have very cool reviews lined up for you and all the top conversations from the world of tech. But some of your questions are interesting since we are actually. Well, so the first question is from Arun. Arun, thanks so much for tuning in to Tech Today. And he asks, which is one of the best luxury SUVs you've driven in the last few episodes? Now, you've obviously seen a bunch of them like the Land Rover Defender. You've also seen some of the smaller ones, and we've seen the BMWs, the Mercedes, and we happen to be in a very special one as well, the Jeep Grand Cherokee. You mustn't have seen much content on this particular vehicle, but it is a big, bold statement from this born in the USA brand. Iconic in terms of off-roading, but if you're comparing this, perhaps I think your queries particularly to do with the Defender and this particular vehicle, well, let me tell you what this one's all about. The Grand Cherokee is obviously a little lower in terms of that ride height compared to the Defender. You're much higher up, and that air suspension really makes you feel a lot more inflated and higher as well. Of course, the Defender is also a little bit more expensive, but around 80 lakhs, this car doesn't seem so much like a luxury SUV from the outside. Things don't look very different. It is massive, and it feels even more massive when you get in and sit here in the driver or passenger seat. And it's a very different experience for both of them, all thanks to the tech. The interiors, the design, and the tech is the differentiator in the Grand Cherokee this time around, and we're quite pleasantly surprised with the cabin. Very slick, leather on top over here, a 10.1-inch infotainment screen which gets the job done. I'll come to it, but if you're the passenger and you don't want to disturb the driver, there's a secondary screen over here where you can do almost everything that you could do over here. It also has a privacy guard, so I can't really see what's on that screen whilst I'm talking to you, but the passenger can consume content on it, plug in your HDMI, and you can be watching your favorite shows, maybe Tech Today as well. There's also, well, USB sockets right here. You have an aux port, USB-A, USB-C sockets, and while a lot of the work can be done on this touchscreen infotainment system, what's good to see is that they've still kept all their hard touch buttons as well. When you talk about the infotainment system, there's a bunch of tech features over here that really work. If you get into the settings right here, a very different font from PV Pro on the Jaguar Land Rover, very different layout from the BMWs and Mercedes, but it is simplistic and it's really not that fancy and all the bells and whistles. You have all the off-roading features right here from vehicle dynamics, pitch and roll. This, at the heart of it, as different as it looks from a Defender, is very similar in terms of DNA. They might be long-lost brothers from another world because they are both off-roaders and they have that smash of luxury. That perhaps seems to be the way forward. If you have a forward-facing camera right here, you can clean it. Even the rear-facing camera can also give you quite a good shot of what's behind. Very, very clear adaptive controls here. And if you want the rear view, in this particular vehicle, the only place where I've seen such a clean camera and such a clear camera is across the Land Rover lineup. I think it's great that you're getting this in other vehicles. Competition's always good. You have a bunch of modes over here: sand, mud, snow, auto, and sport. The car is quite powerful, but if you want all those features, well, that's going to be in our extensive Tech Today review. Very quickly, I want to show you a few more controls over here. There's mirror dimmers, passenger screen power, rear view camera. You can do all those things over here. You also have buttons to do them right on top over here. Bunch of ADAS features, from auto emergency braking to active lane management. And you obviously get a little bit of vibration plus steering assist. You can decide whether you want a low, medium, high version of how much the lane keep assist really steers you back into the right lane. It's quite a task here in Mumbai and in Mumbai traffic. Park sensing, front park sensing. There's a whole bunch of features, tech features, which can be managed on this screen. But if you're confused between this one and the Defender, look, the Defender is slightly more expensive. You get a lot more variants here in India with the Defender as well. If you want the longer one, you want, well, more seating, you have all those options on the Defender. This one comes in a 2-liter petrol. Both of them are fuel guzzlers, but for the off-roading bit, I just feel the Defender, for me, is a very commanding presence. That said, this car is much improved in the tech department, and honestly, it's quite a joy to drive. Full review on Tech Today, but let's get to the next question.